Ever feel like you're just stuck on a treadmill, like you're working so hard, but not really getting anywhere?
Oh, absolutely.
That's kind of the feeling I get from Nathaniel Cabanero's song Blessings in Disguise. And honestly, it's something we can probably all relate to at some point, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who hasn't felt that way at some point?
So today we're going to, take a deep dive into these lyrics, really unpack the themes of faith, resilience. What do you think?
Sounds good to me. I think that's something a lot of people struggle with, so it'll be interesting to see how the song tackles it.
Yeah. And what I find so fascinating is that while the song's deeply personal, it's his story.
Right.
It also kind of taps into this universal human experience.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's this age-old thing, the search for meaning and suffering. We see it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
From like ancient myths to, I don't know, modern self-help books. It's this idea that hardship, it can actually lead to growth. And I think Blessings in Disguise offers a really interesting perspective on that, this idea, especially through the lens of faith,
Yeah. Yeah. And, when you really listen to that chorus, you're stronger than my miseries. Your grace is enough for me. All that I have are your blessings in disguise. It's powerful.
It is.
It's like an anthem, for anyone who's ever felt broken and then had to find a way to piece themselves back together. Have you ever felt that way?
Oh, yeah. I think, like I said, we all have at some point, right?
But to really appreciate the weight of that hope, that he finds, we have to go back to the beginning. Because Cabanero, he doesn't shy away from struggle. Not at all. He really lays it all out there.
No, he doesn't. And I think that's what makes it so relatable. Because he's not afraid to be vulnerable and honest about those struggles.
Exactly. He starts off with this really vivid image of the rat race. That daily grind, working hard, paying bills, just trying to keep your head above water.
Yeah.
It's a feeling I think a lot of us, unfortunately, can relate to.
Absolutely. I know I can. It's that feeling of being stuck, like you said, on a treadmill. Like, is this it? Is this all there is? It's a pretty common experience, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's in those moments, those moments of exhaustion when you feel like you're at your wit's end, that he cries out, and I'm just going to quote the lyrics here. Sometimes I cry and shout, Lord, this is enough. It's so raw, so honest. It reminds me of this time actually, it's not important. Never mind.
Oh, come on. You can't leave us hanging. What happened?
Well, okay, so get this. It was right before, one of the biggest presentations of my career, okay, and my laptop. It just died. Completely dead.
Oh, no. That's the worst.
The worst, right. And in that moment, I completely lost it. I mean, I was freaking out. But after I kind of let it all out, had my little meltdown, something kind of shifted. Not like a miracle or anything, but just this sense of calm, this feeling that it would work out somehow.
It's like that moment of surrender you were talking about earlier, right? Like when you finally let go of trying to control everything.
Exactly. And it's interesting because that's kind of the same shift we see in the song, too. It goes from this cry of despair to this search for something more,
Yes. And I love how you put that, a search for something more. That's a really perfect way to describe it. It's not just about escaping the pain, but about finding meaning and purpose in it.
Totally. And you can really hear that in the lyrics as the song progresses. It's like he goes from crying out to seeking solace, forgiveness, and ultimately trust.
And that's where the real transformation begins, right? When we can move from a place of fear and doubt to a place of trust and surrender.
100%. And there's this one line he repeats, it really stuck with me. Teach me, Lord, to trust you in my helplessness. I mean, talk about vulnerability.
It's powerful, right? It really gets to the heart of what it means to have faith. It's not about pretending to have all the answers, but about acknowledging our need for help, our dependence on something greater than ourselves.
That's it. Acknowledging our need for help. And that kind of leads us to this whole idea of blessings in disguise. This belief that even in hardship, even in the struggles, there's potential for growth.
Right, like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger kind of thing. It's a concept you find in various forms across different cultures, spiritual traditions, even psychology.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a reason why this idea has resonated with people for centuries, It's because there's truth to it.
Exactly. And, psychologically speaking, it really speaks to our brain's incredible ability to adapt and find meaning even when things are tough.
It's true. It's all about perspective, isn't it? Choosing to focus on the good even when it's hard to see. And that's what I love about this song. It doesn't sugarcoat things. It acknowledges the pain, the doubt, the fear. But it also says, hey, we have a choice. We can choose to stay stuck in those feelings, or we can choose to look for the blessings, the lessons, the strength that might be hidden within the struggle.
It's about finding those glimmers of hope, those little sparks of light, even in the darkest of times. And that takes courage, it takes resilience, but it's a choice we can all make.
In Cabanero, he reminds us of that choice with the line, "My life is worth living for, because you are my Lord, though I do stumble and fall."
Yeah.
Like, setbacks are just part of the journey. They don't have to define us.
It's that idea that we're all works in progress, right? We're all going to make mistakes, we're all going to stumble and fall. But it's about getting back up, dusting ourselves off, and continuing to move forward.
Learning from those stumbles, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot, works in progress. Because that's what it is, right? It's this constant evolution. And, it kind of reminds me of that saying, we don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges. And Cabanero's song, it takes that idea and it just infuses it with this profound sense of hope, this belief that even when we stumble, there's something greater than ourselves that can help us through.
And that's a powerful message, especially in today's world, right? Where it's so easy to feel overwhelmed and discouraged. This idea that we're not alone in our struggle, that there's a source of strength and hope we can tap into, that's a really powerful message.
It really is. So as we kind of wrap up here, I think, what Cabanero leaves us with, it's not just a nice sentiment, it's a challenge, really. He asks us to look at our own lives and ask ourselves, where am I overlooking a blessing in disguise? Right.
It's a great question to ask ourselves, because sometimes those blessings, they're not always obvious, Sometimes they're hidden in plain sight.
Exactly. Sometimes those bad things, they turn out to be the best things that ever happened to us.
Yeah.
But we don't always see it at the time.
And that's the thing about blessings in disguise. Sometimes it takes time and distance and a little bit of reflection to really see them for what they are, but they're always there, waiting to be discovered.
And that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
That even when we can't see them, even when we don't feel them, those blessings are still there, shaping us, guiding us, leading us towards a brighter future.
Absolutely. And, even if we never fully understand the why behind our struggles, we can trust that they're not in vain. There's always a purpose, even if we can't see it yet.
There's always a purpose.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a really good note to end on. Don't you agree?
I do. Lots to think about.
Definitely a lot to think about. Thanks for diving deep with me today. This was great.
Yeah, this was really great. I always enjoy these conversations.
Me too, me too. And thank you, listening out there. Until next time, keep searching for those blessings in disguise. You never know where you might find them.
You never know. They could be right in front of you.